Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And today, I'm joined by the person who has kept me away from this channel for well over a year now, or has been a distraction. So I am well aware that there's been barely any content on here apart from maybe like trailers, edits, a lot of panels. Obviously, it's because I've got nowhere else to put them, so that's why you're getting bombarded with Billy Piper and Sylvester McCoy panels and Peter Davison Janet panels. Um, which, sorry if that's not what you really want. It's more of a storage thing, but also I did record it to put on my channel anyway. I think the last face-to-face video I did was, I think it was the season 2 unboxing for the Blu-ray set, which was December 2022. So it's been a long time now. I know I uploaded that season 9 one about less than a year ago, but I forgot to upload it at the time. Obviously, that came out early 2023. So yeah, it's been forever. This really has been forever. And also, as you've noticed, there was no unboxing for this set at all because again, I'm here. So this is where I've been for the last year. I'm not in my usual setup anymore, so I don't really have a place to record videos and that. I can't get access to merchandise to go like, hey, there's this thing because it's all the way back at Mines, and I don't review B&M sets or steel boots because I don't really have a good setup here for that. So it's a bit hard to do right now, unfortunately. But I am joined by my wonderful girlfriend, partner, and lovely cosplayer, Lynn. I was going to say if you wanted to introduce yourself, but I've already done that, so never mind.
Hi.
She says hello. So what? So what are we here to do? What are we here to discuss?
You wanted to do the season box set?
Yeah. So because this just came out and we both watched it together, I thought we would talk about, obviously, this. But I'm not going to talk about the special features, or we're not going to talk about the special features. This might end up becoming a 3-part video. I don't know yet, but we'll see. We're not talking about special features. We're not talking about the stories themselves. I keep saying it's because I'm used to saying me, because it's me who normally does these on my own. I've got someone to actually do this with. We're going to talk about the remastering, because I think for the set so far, in terms of quality, this might be, I don't know, I don't want to say it is the worst, because I'm not 100% happy with the remastering on this, and I know they're pulling from the best available sources and all that, but I think because of how good season 8 was, because Terror of the Autons had a completely new color process. Mind of Evil was chroma dot. That was the best it was ever going to look. But Claws of Axis, Colony in Space, which obviously have all their tapes converted back to PAL. They're doing this fantastic new thing now of merging the higher quality black and white film print with the the converted tape and chroma dot. They're doing a lot of really fucking good shit for it, and it looks amazing. It really does look amazing. It's a lot better than the old flickeriness we had on the DVDs. And then Damon's, again, it was at Terror of the Autons, a completely brand new colour process. For this, because it's an older season, obviously the state and the tapes are if you look at both what survives between in terms of sources, yeah, this season's a lot worse compared to season 8, but I'm just not 100% happy with it. It's not how I would have done it. It's just there's a lot in it I think could have made it better, in my personal opinion. So we're going to go for all 4 stories. I've got DWM here, issue 613, which covered the season 7 box set in it. I'll just find the page. So here, basically using this as my source, but also Lynn's got her iPad up for someone's name I don't want to say on this channel, but if you didn't know, Peter Crocker's a paedophile. Anyway, moving on. I've got his tweets setting up good to go, because he put out a lot of good information about Silurians and ambassadors and the process that they had to do, and the recolorization process. He put a lot of facts in that are very interesting. He's not done it for Spirit and Inferno, but we're not going to talk about as much about them in this video because there wasn't a lot to change anyway. It's really Silurians and ambassadors that are the main focus here. So, yeah, that's where we're going. So we'll start with Spirit from Space. I was going to try and pull something up there, but never mind. Yeah, so for this, really, the only two things that have massively changed, apparently, is for the 2013 Blu-ray was apparently more blue than this new version. Now, to be honest, we didn't really notice any blue when watching the 2013 Blu-ray. At least I didn't notice. I don't know.
No, I didn't see any significant difference. But I think you when we were watching it, it was if there was anything changed, it would be so minor that most people wouldn't notice it.
No, yeah. Also, I'm so sorry. This is horrible of me. I completely forgot to mention. My partner is partly deaf. Just let you know that. So, if
I live.
what?
I live.
So, bit like me, to be honest, but not as in being deaf, but she's also got a speech impediment, so, we both don't pronounce things exactly 100% correctly, so, it doesn't matter, we're both, relatable in that sense, but also, if the audio gets very loud, it's just because Lynn doesn't realise it, but anyway, but don't worry, I'm loud as well, so we're both fine. Anyway, just thought I'd mention that in case you're wondering why the audio might be so fucking piercing, so rest in peace, headphone users. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, so there's a lot less blue, apparently, with the new one, which I don't really. I'm waiting for. There's someone on YouTube who does good comparisons of these, and they've not put out their season 7 ones yet, which just doesn't really help because it would have been really good source for this video. So until I see a comparison side by side, I'm not really noticing a difference in picture quality. Obviously, with this, because it's on film, the 2013 Blu-ray was already going to look so good.
Of course.
As it did anyway. So this in terms of improvement on the set, even though it's the best quality we have for a story in this set, it's the least improved for this new set because it was already so good anyway. The only things that have really changed again is apparently on the 2013 Blu-ray, there were scratches outside of the frame. So obviously if you're looking at this frame, which is us, and then the outside of that frame, apparently there's a lot of scratches which they didn't have time to clean up or patch up. So they've gone back and got rid of those, even though you can't see them when you're watching the episode, obviously, because it's the outside of the frame. There's a lot less artifacts and interference now in the frame rate, which is good. But from what I can tell, they just didn't have enough time to finish it in 2013. So they've gone back and fixed that, which is good. Apparently, there's about 130,000 frames of film across all 4 episodes. And for all of that, we've removed about 500 bits of dirt and sparkle. That's for this new version. That's not for the 2013 Blu-ray. So going from the DVD to the Blu-ray, and then from the Blu-ray to this, removing about an extra 500 bits. That's pretty good, considering. And the other thing, which Lynn didn't notice when watching it, because, well, I mean, I read about it and I was annoyed. So Pete McTee, who works on these sets, and he writes all the booklets for them. He basically has this. He says here, if I can find it. Yeah, so there's a scene in episode 1, and it's when Liz comes into unit headquarters and is having that sort of interview with the Brigadier, and basically in that scene, in the original, apparently, because obviously they shot this all on film and, they were working with their usual cameras and microphones, the microphone isn't anywhere near Nicholas or Caroline. So because it's an echoey room to begin with, the audio comes across as echoey because it's causing interference with the microphone. So, like, if you had that microphone very close to them, as it should have been, then I suppose it just would have been even more echoey. So, because this has been boring Pete McTee since he was 6 years old, apparently, he's basically went into this audio track and he's got Mark Ayers to make it sound like how it should have been. Now, as someone who knows the audio for it very well, yes, I noticed it straight away. Lynn didn't. To her, it sounded completely fine, which I guess it's doing its job in that sense. It sounded fine to Lynn, as in, you weren't looking for that difference.
No.
So you were like, oh yeah, it just sounds fine. Because I read it and because I was looking for that difference, and also a lot of people have listened to it, read it, and whatever, unless you have a very keen ear, you probably won't notice it. However, I don't like it because this is a fan thing that is basically going, yeah, I had a problem with it, so I'm going to change it, and everyone has to stick to that version. No, what Pete McTee should have done here was, like, all the other fucking sets beforehand were Destiny of the Daleks, you had an improved surround sound mix with an updated Davros voice, or Dalek Invasion of Earth, where it was just slightly improved Dalek voices. This should be an option, and these should always be an option. You can't change something in the audio track that was not there because it's not the original audio. I'm very big on having like original audio and like accuracy and whatever. So, but I don't understand why on the other sets you have like these little updates as an option. You've not done it for this. You've just went, yeah, that's the version they're gonna have to watch. So keep a hold of your 2013 Blu-ray.
It's probably because it's a minor update, not a major one, like adding a completely different voice or adding completely new sound effects or like the surround sound where everything in the track is going to be updated. It's minor. It's for like 1, maybe 2 scenes and a couple of minutes, that's it. It's very, very minor.
Okay. Well,
and it probably didn't seem what the of the actual space on the disc.
Yeah, we'll have to agree to disagree. I get that point, but it's just that thing. That was a mistake of the original production. That mistake is always going to be there. It should always be there. It's like taking away fucking. Oh, what's a good example of this? Like Sutek's cushion hands in Pyramids of Mars, which they did take away in the Tales of the TARDIS version. I don't know if you ever noticed that. They actually did remove it.
Considering I was watching it in the hotel room during SunnyCon weekend, middle of that weekend, after being out for so many years, had already had an after party. We get ready for the next one, because I watched over 2 days. Yeah, I think that might have been lost on me.
Yeah, so okay, Lynn didn't notice that, but I only noticed it because someone put it on Twitter. But I don't care what people say. That it's been referenced so many memes that it's so funny. It should always be there. It's the same thing with this. It's an audio thing that was a mistake of the original and is a part of the original, and just I don't like that they've went and basically changed this because a fan got annoyed at this and I want to change this. It's like, no, you're putting your way into that too much. If you really want, have it as an option. An option's completely fine. Don't make it the main version that you will have to stick to on the disc. So again, like I said, it's actually worth holding on to 2013 Blu-ray, because for me, from now on, because I'm that petty, I will watch part 1 on that 2013 Blu-ray, and then I will watch episodes 2, 3 and 4 on the seasons. See, Lynn can't stand the thought of that. I won't do it in your presence, but
no, that is just the definition of pettiness.
I know.
For no reason. Just enjoy it for what it is.
I'm enjoying it for what it is.
Clearly not. If you're going to put one disc in it, you're going to want half of it, to then go and put another disc in it, want the second half.
No, because I'll put it onto a file and convert it and put it on a copy.
Yeah. Pettiness.
Yeah.
Time wasting. Pettiness.
She's
No.
not. She's not an arsehole, by the way. She's just um right. Doctor Who and the Silurians. The first majorly changed one. So I didn't know this until I read this today, but apparently for this now, for people who don't know, ever since the VHS in 1993, they have always merged the 1977 off-air tape, which is on an NTSC format, of course, and they have merged that with the 60mm higher quality black and white film print that was sent overseas. They've been doing that for the last 30 years now. For this though, what they have done is, because they're still using they're using the exact same sources they've stated. They have took the black and white film copy, and because it has the chroma dots in it, they've pulled that color signal through and layered that on top of the off-air tape. Now, in terms of remasters, this and Ambassadors were the ones I was most looking forward to, because I know they were the biggest change ones. However, it wasn't just me, because we watched the omnibus for this. We didn't watch the 7-part version, so I don't know if it's just because we didn't get the full experience of it. But to be honest, I don't think it really matters. To Lynn, anyway, you said that something feels off a bit.
It looks. You can see a clear difference from the DVD version.
Yeah,
because
it's a lot less harsh.
A lot of some of the colours that were draining certain things out, or covered certain faces a bit too much, like the oranges, the greens,
and the reds are really bad, and a lot
things
of it.
like that. You can see a significant difference there, but overall, I don't know if it's just because I've seen that version so many times.
I think it's the case for me as well.
Or it could have been anything really, but from the very beginning of watching that, something just didn't quite sit right.
No.
And I could not put my finger on it for whatever reason. It just feels very off. And it might just be because I'm so used to seeing those colours running through it, or it might just be that they've not added something that they should have added in.
No, yeah, I felt the same way about it. Because that day the box set arrived, we watched Spearhead, and then we watched the Silurians omnibus because we had time for it, and it was quite nice watching a 7-parter all in one evening, because it's been truncated down to an hour and 40 odd minutes. It was really good, by the way. It was very well paced, even though to me it doesn't. Even though I'm not so keen on the story anymore, which is a shame. So
yeah, I still enjoy it.
Fair enough. But I think I'm now agreeing on the opinion of it. I think it's too long.
We're not the worst of the season.
We'll come on to that. It didn't really improve the story for me, the omnibus, but it was a fun watch. I enjoyed watching it. But see, it feels odd, because to me, when watching Silurians, I know they've done the same process that they've done for Terror of the Autons and the Daemons, but it's not that it looks washed out. It's a lot more it's a lot less cooler and harsher, which is good. But you mentioned this when watching it, a lot of the reds are still prominent in the
red still
in the faces.
There. It's significantly less, I would imagine, than the DVD version.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's because red is such a dominant colour.
Yeah.
Because of the type of creatures they are and where they are and stuff like that. I'm surprised we didn't see a lot more green running through it.
Yeah.
That was died down significantly.
No, it was, yeah. There's I mean, it's I was saying this, maybe it's just due to lighting or studio scenes or whatever, but particularly in the studio scenes and the place that Dr. Lawrence is running, but in those studio scenes and on the faces in particular, I don't know if it's just because they're against yellow walls or if it is the lighting that's bouncing, but a lot of the red is still very prominent in their faces. The skin tones look unnatural, I think, still.
But the problem is a lot of that red isn't anywhere in the scene
No, I know.
to really be bouncing. So as I said to you at the time, it's not coming from anything on set. It's just naturally in that footage somewhere.
Yeah.
And they've not managed to take it out probably or die it down enough.
What they've apparently for episodes 1 to 3, there's been no news source pulled out, and I need you to get the tweet up. So back in December, Peter Crocker was putting out tweets about the remastering on this and the problems that they had to face with certain things. So for episodes 1 to 3, the colour recovery apparently has not worked, and they're still using the Betamax off-air tape from 1977. What was I going to say? I'll need you to go onto the page.
Okay.
And I mean this exactly proves our point. This for episode 2. Colour recovery worked, but with marked random red blotches across the screen, which were challenging to manage. But the colour registration is better. So again, a lot of the reds are still prominent throughout the restoration, as we mentioned. If you scroll up to episode 3. Episode 3 was a failure, although the subcarrier did facilitate a double undistortion of the film recording. It's not bad apparently, but it's still a bit too fuzzy. That's episode. Episode 4 had more detail, and the inevitable CR minor hue fluctuations less troublesome than NTSC broadcast and domestic tape issues. Go up. This was interesting, and I forgot to mention this to you actually. So, see when we watched the DVD version back in October, do you remember I pointed out the yellow text that says Doctor Who John Pertwee on the screen?
Oh yeah, the one that's very
which you never noticed. So Lynn didn't know this or ever noticed it, but I pointed out, and it's a trouble with the vision mixer, because they just recorded, obviously the way they filmed Doctor Who was just scene to scene to scene, obviously, and even they played the credits and everything all at the same time, of course, which is why they always say it was basically done live, because that was left over from episode 4, I think, on to episode 5. The text has always been appearing on screen. Apparently for this, the film insert at the end of the episode was hand coloured in 1992 for the VHS release, but now has its true original colour, which I never knew. So on the off-air tape, I think it's around about episodes 4 or 5, that is gone, as in the colour signal is very weak, so they basically got an American team to redo it. Now for this, it's been put back to its original colour, and obviously I think you didn't notice, and the text is not there anymore. It's been removed.
No, we wouldn't have noticed it, and then neither would you, because we watched the omnibus version. We would have had titles in the first place.
No, that doesn't apply because that was still in the recording. So in the omnibus they played that scene, and I checked the episodic version, it's not there.
Okay.
So that's gone, which is good. But to conclude Southerly Rains, because we've been talking about it for quite a while, it's just, I don't know, I'm not thrilled by it at all, because I think again it's just there's too much red. It's still very harsh, and maybe it's just because, as Lynn was saying, it's the version we've always watched, but I prefer the DVD version, which is weird. It's weird to say that.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think I still prefer that DVD version. As much as it does not great in a lot of ways, it feels a bit more comfortable.
It does, yeah.
And it didn't feel so off.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. It's
unfortunately, even though these are maybe the best version, and the probably are the best version that we could get.
Yeah.
It's just, I think maybe the way they went about trying to see what they wanted had it quite set right.
No, I completely agree with that. It's just it doesn't look it looks too. I don't know. It's something. There is something off about it, and we just can't quite place it. But again, I think it's just because it's the version we've always watched. But I think I prefer the DVD version. I hate saying that because I know a lot of work have gone into that, and obviously all the recolorization. But it's just I don't know. Maybe it's just that off-air tape. That's all we have. That's the only source and probably that's the only source we're ever gonna have. So I'm not 100% happy with the result of the color. Now, on to the one which naturally, of course, was going to have the biggest improvement and restoration on this set, and that is the Ambassadors of Death. Or, as I should say, the Ambassadors of Death. Which, rewatching it again, we both we both watched this back in October, and I was like, God, this is a bit shit, isn't it? But I still really liked it. I was liking it, Lynn wasn't, and then we both watched it together, and well, I agree with Lynn. It's too long.
No, the problem is you've got like 3 bits of set for how many episodes?
7.
7. So you end up spending most of it going back and forth. Oh, let's jazz this up. Let's have a tiny bit of outdoor and let's get back to the 3 sets again. Oh, let's change this up. Let's have more shouting, more argument, more disagreement. Back to the 3 sets again.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun. And that's 7 episodes worth.
Yeah, and there's a reason why now, because I found this weird when they announced the set, they're like, oh, omnibus versions of Silurians and Inferno, and because we watched obviously the 7-part version of Ambassadors, because there's no omnibus on the set, and no, I don't like it. I was like, fuck, I really wish there was an omnibus of it because it might be a lot better. However, they have said, and I didn't even click this at all because I kept saying for weeks, they're like, why have they not done it for Ambassadors? People, I think, forget episode 1 of this is the earliest surviving 2-inch videotape PAL original master. And episodes 2 to 7 are chroma dot color recovery, and Pete McTee basically said, yeah, the jump between the qualities would just be so inconsistent and kind of annoying apparently that, yeah, that's the reason why they've not done it. That I understand. That's fine, because obviously Silurians and Inferno have consistent quality remasters, so, but I still would have liked to have seen it. Anyway, for this, naturally, yes, this is the one they've spent the most amount of money on. However, unfortunately, they've even said here, Ambassadors is a completely new restoration. Unless the original tapes turn up tomorrow, I think it's now as good as it's going to be. It still looks shit.
You can see a significant difference, but at the same time, it still looks washed out, horrible, and not up to the standard that you would have expected.
Yeah.
Given the source material, it's understandable where they are.
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of people, because you're so used to what we've had previous and previous box sets, we do look for a higher standard without taking into consideration what they have to work with.
No, exactly.
So what they have to work with here is probably is the best they're going to get for now anyway. But it, like Silurian, it just feels off.
It does.
It just doesn't feel like it's working.
Yeah.
The one thing I think it does do better though is, and that because I had a lot of problems with, is the frizziness is gone.
Yeah.
And the CSO, that one. It does look a bit tidier as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't look as bad, but in terms of colour and lighting and shading, it can still do a bit more work. But I don't think they're going to be able to do any more than they're going to do with the technology we have at the moment.
I do personally, I think it was... the problem is it is so inconsistent. Episode 1 looks the best, of course, because that's the original fucking tape. Episodes 2 and 3, apparently going off the tweets, if you scroll up. Yeah, so for episodes 2 and 3, don't worry, I know the information. It's fine. For episodes 2 and 3, the color signal was apparently so weak in the tape that it just was unusable. The places I know where it was mostly improved was episodes 4 and 5, where the color signal was really strong. However, unfortunately, again for episodes 6 and 7, it's again back to being weak. And the reason why for this is because if you don't know, there is an off-air tape of this that does exist from, again, it was broadcast in I think 1976. However, because of interference, and we've seen screen grabs of this, obviously it had a rainbow throughout it, where the screen is just a rainbow, because the colour signal's so weak that it's coming up as a rainbow because your reds, your blues, your greens are like trying to pull through. But there are sections of that tape where it's fine, and this is what they've done for the VHS release, where the colour just kept turning on and off. So for this, basically for the DVD, which, like, I mean, they've even said here that, but when we started looking for the Blu-rays, I took another look at the DVD masters, and I was shocked at how awful they are. The DVD remaster is awful. There's no point in denying that. It is shit, because it's just so, as I call it, piss. It's just so piss. There's a lot of yellow, just it looks really gross.
Imagine the story then.
Yeah. And that really put me off watching it. Watching this version, of which I still don't think it's 100% there, because I've just, as Lim was saying, I expecting a bit more of a higher standard, but I think we need to accept this is the best they're going to look. But for some reason, rather than, what they done for the DVD was, they chroma dot color recovered it, and then they merged it with the parts of the off-air tape that were usable. Rather than doing that for this, they've just chroma dotted the entire thing, which I don't like, because yes, chroma dot is great because yes, you're getting your colour signal, but that only gets you so far for how something should look.
You still need to go in and tidy it up and manually paint.
Yeah. Because that tape has not the best colour source, but it has it's from a source of where it's closer than chroma dot colour recovery. To me, you should still use that, and that would have been really handy for scenes where it does look still washed out and you could just patch it up.
Chroma dot should, but in more cases, should be your base.
No, exactly.
Not the standard of colour.
Not the standard. Exactly. It shouldn't be your standard. It should just be your backup. That's what they've done with Silurians. I don't like how they've completely abandoned that off-air tape at all. On to the last story, and I mean, it's going to be very brief for this one, but in my opinion, the best improved picture quality wise, apart from Spearhead, I would say, is Inferno.
Yeah.
It looks very good. Again, because it's obviously NTSC converted back to PAL. Now, what they just done in the past was they just completely converted the tape. That was it. They just left it. Now what they're doing is they're converting that, they're cleaning it up, and they're merging it with the higher quality black and white film print. I did say to you, obviously, I felt it looked a bit washed out. However, I stuck on the DVD version on the disc, and trust me, it looks a lot better.
It's sharper as well.
Yeah, it's a lot sharper, because they've got that higher quality black and white print. But my God, like, because the 2013 master is on this Blu-ray, you stick that on, you compare that to what we had, what we have now, it's such a night and day difference. Because one thing that really pissed me off on those old remasters was Inferno, Colony in Space, and the and Claws of Axos, and that is just, because it's a converted tape, the flickeriness of the frame rate is really prominent, and it's so off-putting to watch. That's why I'm so thankful that they're now doing this new process, because it's giving them a better, clearer image to actually work with. And of course, yes, we watched the 7-part version because it's such a great story, but we watched the omnibus, and it was very well done. I mean,
if you've ever seen any of the omnibuses, I would say they're more well paced than a lot of other stuff I've done. Because if you go and look at what they're doing now with
the colour stuff
and colour stuff, as much as they're doing their best with what they've been given and the budget and the time frame and all that, a lot of the content is lost and a lot of the that done better, because it's sort of war games. There was times when I was looking at that going, right, I know why he's doing that, but looking at that frame with that frame, it did not tell you why he's doing that, or they've not gave you context in anywhere before it.
That's
to see
coming.
where, okay, he's using the glasses for that reason, or the
Yeah.
rest of people on that panel for that reason.
That's coming out in a steelbook. We should review it.
So it was a lot better because they are just trimming out the unnecessary
Yeah.
from the story, not adding anything to it, not changing anything. The only thing they really changed was the glitter wall.
Yeah, so in this version, of which of course, because it's a new 2025 edit, they've used obviously the new remastered Blu-ray version, so it still looks as good as the 7-part version. So what they've done for that is basically they have I've read from Pete Mateo. He says there's a lot of back and forth in Inferno, which I don't really agree with that. I think for 7 parts it does.
Depends how you look at it, I guess.
I think all of it is just really good in there for a reason. But he does say that the Back to Our World stuff is not really needed. And watching the omnibus version, of which they have completely cut all that out, like when we go back to Liz and the Brigadier, yeah, I completely agree with that, because I didn't feel like anything was lost when watching it. They're there at the start, they're there at the end, and that is how, like, you're in the parallel world stuff for an hour. And it's just, because this is a 7-part, it makes me wonder how they've done that so well with this but not with the Daleks, because it just goes to show, see if you just keep in a few lines that states something, you know, like 1 or 2 scenes, you get a lot better context. War Games in colour, it was just like fucking rush, and things were happening when they shouldn't be happening. Whereas with this, they say one line, like Sir Keith's dead, you know, in their world. You don't have to show them in the car crash later on. Like, it's stuff like that.
No,
It's just that one line keeps everything in.
Because with that, having that one line, and then the scene where he's walking back into the hut, with his arm in the car.
Yeah, that tells you it's
kind of just saying, okay, he's been in an accident, he survived, meaning something changed in our world that didn't happen to create the disaster in the parallel world. There's your context.
Exactly.
Whereas the problem with the colour one is they're trying to make it for a modern audience, because they think they need it fast paced. They think they need slightly updated music. They need fancy effects. We don't need any of that. Perfect. Adding some of it here and there is fine. All they really need to do is look at the story and go, right, what's not necessary? Cut that out. Okay. Are we anywhere near the runtime? Possibly not. What can we come out now? And it'll probably go a lot better and a lot smoother. I have heard that a lot of people did enjoy it though.
What, the omnibus version?
No, the in colour.
Oh.
But that was more of a younger audience enjoying them for that reason.
No, exactly. That's what
that's what they're made for.
That's what
they're made for.
That's what they're intended for. However, I do think the people who are making these in colour version now, take a look at the new omnibus edits that they've done recently for Silver Nemesis, Silurians, and Inferno. Look at them and use that as your basis, and stop fucking using an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half as your basis for a 10-parter, because that's never going to work. You can't truncate that to that amount of time. 7-parter, because they've just left in a few bits of lines and gave it that extra 5 minutes. That's all you need. That's all you really need. You know, it also would work so much better. Anyway, to conclude, this set, I would still highly recommend picking it up. Brilliant special features as always, they were amazing, but if you're expecting high def, like 4K, fucking no, you're not going to get that at all. We need to remember they're still using the same sources as they have been for the last 20 years, but I'm just not like, yeah, we're not both 100% happy with it, and you know, I think it's because we're so used to what we expect from the previous ones, we expect it for this, and unfortunately that's just not going to be the case, it seems. So yeah. Right, my camera lied to me. It said 40 minutes recording maximum time. I've just pressed re-record. It says 5 minutes 24 seconds. So yes, Lynn has a link tree, and what is in that?
Well, basically, if you go to pretty much any social media and just look for Week Offware, you'll find me there. And you'll see all the content I'm at recently, photos, anything I've been up to, anything I'm making, all that jazz. But the main one would be Facebook and Twitter. But I also have a coffee page where you can become a member. Or if that's not really your thing, you can just leave a small tip. Everything that I make through that will help me fund more cosplay, going to more cons, doing more photos. But I'm also currently in the middle of updating my coffee shop. So I'll be putting up things that I've been making. At the moment, what was up there was just mostly merch. So, but by the time I get it updated, which hopefully soon, there'll be handmade stuff, i.e. upcycling stuff, but there'll also be some templates and some cosplay photos as well. And if you are a member, you will also get perks for some of the stuff on the shop as well. So if you're interested in something like this, for instance, it's up there, or even the wee pin badge, anything I make from that will either go back into making more stuff or put towards the same stuff as the tips and the memberships. But in all, any support would be grateful. It doesn't matter if it's just liking something I've got posted, sharing it with somebody, or telling somebody just to go and check it out. Anything will be appreciated.
And that's why I done this video in the first place. It was to get my partner on the channel as well, get her out there a bit, give her a bit of confidence, and also to promote this because it's something I want her to do well in. And you know, I feel like because, you know, Doctor Who is a good place to promote maybe this kind of thing or just talk about something in the video. This is why I've basically went, well, we've both watched the box set, we're not 100% happy with the remaster, and we're both agreeing on the same thing, you know, let's do a video and talk about that. And I'm going to feature Lynn in a lot more videos probably from now on, because I would like to try and start uploading on here again. Because as I said, we might come back to talking about the special features or the stories or whatever. But in every single video, I'm going to get Lynn to mention that at the end, and I'm going to stick it in my description. So it's all down there. I'm going to put it in the description, which people might not read, so it's going to go in a pinned comment as well. I'm going to put it in both places. And point there being is, just please go and support her and help her, because
my biggest support at the moment.
Yeah, I am.
I appreciate it.
So please just go and look at that. Even as Lynn said, if it's liking stuff is great, because you know it's not nice to put effort into a post and you get like 1 or 2 likes. You know, anything's greatly appreciated, but see when it goes above like 10, 20, it's like making a new YouTube channel. See when you get above that 10 mark, you know, it's a great feeling. You know, that's what you want. And you know, it's like people like Lynn in this community need support like that, because they put a lot of work into stuff, and there's a lot of small businesses out there and they need as much help as big businesses do and elsewhere. So please just go and look at it. I'm going to stick it in the description, I'm going to stick it in the comments as pinned. But the whole part of this video was to get Lynn out there, but also just talk about, you know, something we both agree on. So might do episode reviews of the new season, not sure yet. Depends how much storage space I have on here, because I'm editing so much other things right now and focusing on other things. So that's why I've not really focused on this channel, because I'm just prioritising other things. But I've got quite a few video ideas that I want to do as high quality videos at some point down the line as voiceovers with myself. So because I've got a few interesting idea subjects for Doctor Who, stuff that people don't really talk about in the community. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for having me.
No, it's a pleasure.
On, because we're now at 5 minutes, it's going to end.
You know me, I could talk about Doctor Who till the cows come home.
24/7. Yes, exactly. So we'll hopefully do that more on this channel. We'll hopefully do that. Yes, like it was me. We'll hopefully do more of that on this channel. Anyway, this video is literally about to end. So thank you very much for watching now, and I will see you all soon. Goodbye.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the game that we say. I need a break. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on.